Fine. So hello and welcome to the 2025 UAGC Culture of Care Summit. I am Dana Dillard, Program Chair of the Master of Arts and Doctor of Psychology programs, co-hosting today's session with Dr. Dan Augusto, Program Chair of the Bachelor of Arts in Homeland Security and Emergency Management and Culture of Care Summit co-chair. We are pleased to welcome you today to Daring to Transform, the Importance of AI to Workplace Skill Development, presented by Dr. Michelle Rosser-Majors, Assistant Dean and Professor in the Department of Behavioral Sciences. Let's give a warm welcome and chat to Dr. Rosser-Majors.
Thanks so much, Dr. Dillard. Such a privilege to be here today with everyone, because a lot of people don't look at AI as a potential care component. And we're going to learn a little bit today about why it actually is, especially with our very quickly moving technology. As Dr. Dillard stated, I am an assistant dean and professor at the University of Arizona Global Campus. And, AI is no longer a far off concept for us. It is a very integral part of our daily lives, whether we even realize it or not. If we Google even, the AI system is helping us within those areas, but it's coming even faster. So as we move into the future, AI will continue to reshape how we work, how we collaborate, how we drive business success. So for about the next 15 minutes, I'll walk you through how AI is revolutionizing the workplace, identify the potential downfalls as well as the benefits, and how companies and employees can navigate this change effectively. So first, let's just look at our learning outcomes. There are several today. We're going to define artificial intelligence. We're going to describe some ways AI is currently used in various industries. We're going to recognize how AI automates routine tasks, identify the role of machine learning in identifying patterns and trends, which is always a good thing for our organizations. Distinguish the importance of upskilling and reskilling in AI-driven. If you don't know what those are, we will talk about that soon. Acknowledge that new job roles will be created because of AI. So it's important to kind of keep up to date with that. Recall the concept of human AI collaboration and its benefits. We'll also provide you knowledge associated with ethical concerns related to AI, such as bias, data privacy, and job displacement. Appreciate the importance of continuous learning and adaptability in AI-driven environment. And lastly, to recognize the need for organizations to embrace AI strategically. So we have many technology advances throughout time. I think we've all realized that, many of which we now use, and essentially they have advanced our effectiveness, our problem solving, and creative thinking in our workplaces. But I challenge you for a minute. Which one of these advancements do you think claimed it would make us as human beings lazy and very dependent? The printing press? The telephone? How about the GPS system? The computer? The cell phone? And of course, now we can mention generative AI. If you said the calculator, you are correct. But you're also correct if you chose any of the others of these advances. With change brings critics and often concern by both the workplace and in education. So we're going to look at just a couple of these examples because all of these state that it's going to make us lazy. So many past technologies have had concerns tied to them that troubled people and increased laziness, dependency, and memory development even. In the 1440s, critics feared that the printing press would lead to a decline in the need for memorization and oral traditions, which were crucial in passing down knowledge in earlier times. The concern was that people would become lazy in their intellectual engagement and rely too heavily on printed materials instead of developing their own memories or deep thinking. Pretty interesting with how much we use books now. In the 1970s, there was a significant debate in the US educational circles about whether calculators should even be allowed in the classrooms. Some critics argue that students would be unable to perform even just the basic math operations without the aid of a machine if they started using these. However, as we know, these technologies helped us to actually become more effective and helped us to answer more difficult problems more quickly. Whether it was 1.34528 million times 678, or looking at the definition of the word syzygy, that is S-Y-Z-Y-G-Y, syzygy. By the way, in a matter of seconds, to answer those questions, I learned that 1.34 528 million times 678 is 912,099,840. Now, if I had to do that by hand, that would have taken a long time. And synergy, for that matter, in about, I don't know, 5 seconds, I found it was a roughly straight line configuration of 3 or more celestial bodies in a gravitational system, like the sun, moon, and earth. So yeah, it's helped us a lot to do things a lot more quickly. So before we totally dive in, let's quickly define what AI is. Artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines programmed to think, learn, and adapt in ways that mimic human behavior. Now, remember, they don't have emotions, though. Pay special attention to the word learn, though, as this is the key part that many of us forget when we use AI. AI encompasses various technologies, and that can include machine learning or language processing, robotics, computer vision, and in our generative processing that can answer questions for us and look across the internet for answers. In the workplace, AI can range from spelling check tools to automated chatbots, answering questions. I don't know about y'all, I use check spelling a lot these days. Checks queries to advanced predictive analytics. It can guide decision-making, even in our business strategies. But I wouldn't be transparent if we didn't talk about the AI concerns that are out there right now. And it's understandable. So job displacement. It's, the primary fear is that generative AI is going to automate all tasks previously performed by humans, leading to job losses across various sectors. And we're going to learn a little bit about why that's not actually true. We do need to look at things a little bit differently. There are ethical and privacy concerns when it comes to AI. Generative AI relies on vast databases. It raises concerns about the privacy, security, and potential misuses of sensitive information. So if you put something out there in one of those generative AI, it could share it with someone else, and maybe it's great, maybe it's not. Bias and discrimination, actually, where there are not ethical empathy type answers, it can create bias, it can create discrimination if we don't ask it in a way that addresses all variables. So it can create, again, more inaccuracies in our knowledge and understanding if we don't know how to teach it. Lack of human touch. There's a lot of concerns that lack of human touch is going to create problems with AI. That's going to take away all our jobs when that's necessary, and that's simply not the case. Copyright and intellectual property issues, as that continues to be worked out, there's definitely software ways to make sure that does not happen, and we'll address a few of those. You'll also have a PDF at the end that will help guide you to resources that can help you answer some of these questions. And then lastly, reliability and accuracy. Generative AI can produce outputs that are factually incorrect or misleading. Actually known out there as hallucinations. It raises concerns about the reliability of AI-generated content and the need for human oversight. And I will say, most of the generative AI things that I've tried, it refuses to know how to spell. So be very careful. And then, of course, that last one, the dependency and skill gaps that it might create. I think if we over rely on AI, it could lead to decline in critical thinking and problem-solving skills. It can create perceptions of laziness. The advancement of AI also creates, skills gap is a concern that may need required new skills, which is probably true. If we start using AI in our companies, in our organizations more, we need people to understand it. It's important for businesses to carefully consider these negative and implemental strategies to mitigate them as they integrate AI into their workflows. If an organization wants to dare to transform, they must weigh all these options. So as AI becomes more embedded in the workplace, it's also important to consider those ethical implications we talked about. AI systems must be transparent, and they're all not made alike. They must be fair, and they must be accountable. And so doing our research as organizational leaders, organizational business owners is going to be important. Also talking about the biases in the algorithms, data privacy, and the potential for job displacement. It's crucial that AI systems are designed and implemented in ways that are ethical and respect everyone's privacy rights. And that's not always the case when we just dive into something and don't understand it. Organizations must also ensure that their AI technologies are transparent and that their decision-making processes are explainable to users and stakeholders, because AI does not include the emotion or empathy into their decision-making, at least for now. Whether we look at grading and understanding that someone was ill, so theirs was excused from being late, an AI grader won't know that. And there's some way to interpret that for them. In our businesses, if it doesn't understand about perhaps a problem that's happening with certain different types of product, the answers on the Q&A to customers is not going to be accurate. So to address these concerns, businesses and governments need to establish clear guidelines and regulations around their AI use in their workplaces. And I know, even being at this university, that's challenging to figure out what are the usage acceptabilities, because it's here and it's helpful. But we should not use it in these unethical ways. Companies should invest in AI ethics and ensure that their teams are trained. And we're going to talk a lot about that, to understand the social and moral responsibilities of AI development, not only for ourselves, but within our organizations. So looking at that very common concern surrounding AI and its impact on jobs, will AI replace human workers? Well, the short answer is no, at least not entirely. While it's true that AI can automate some tasks, it doesn't mean that all jobs will be lost. In fact, AI is more likely to change how we do our jobs rather than replace them entirely. Listen to that word, change. Again, we all love change, right? So we have to be ready for that. It can take over the routine and repetitive task, but human expertise will still be essential for roles that require creativity, emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, and even complex problem solving. AI can help us get there, but that problem solving has to happen before final decisions are made. As I have even experienced different generative AI software, like I mentioned before, and I've noted that although it does not have emotion, it appears that it does get confused quickly if I'm not clear. I have to work hard to develop my own ability to find the right way to clarify to an AI system what I am seeking, what information, what questions I'm trying to answer, what resources I'm needing. Research also suggests that AI will likely lead to the creation of new jobs out there. For example, demand for AI specialists, data scientists, and AI ethic experts will continue to rise. Industries like healthcare, logistics, and cybersecurity will need workers who can develop, manage, and maintain AI systems. According to a report by Bain & Company published this March, the AI sector is expected to offer over 2.3 million jobs by 2027. The key to navigating this shift will be upskilling and reskilling, making sure that our workforce is ready. As AI evolves, employees will need to learn how to work alongside all of these technologies. This creates opportunities for professional growth and career advancement in fields that are at the forefront of technology innovation. That can include education, especially online education, as well as many other types of organizations out there. So let's consider routine tasks that are time-consuming and often repetitive. These tasks are primary candidates for automation through AI. Whether it's scheduling your meetings, managing emails, or processing invoices, AI can streamline these processes, freeing up employees to focus on more strategic and creative work. I do need AI to be able to respond to my emails. Not quite there yet. How many of us use Alexa? I will say I don't yet, but by just being able to tell Alexa to add something to your calendar, you don't have to take the time to fill that in. So many are using without knowing. So for another example, AI chatbots can provide immediate responses to your customers' inquiries. It reduces wait times and improves the customer experience if the AI chatbot understands the valid, efficient answers. Someone has to make sure that that chatbot understands and is clear. Employees no longer need to spend hours or hiring people hours to sit there and type back questions or answers to different customers. Instead, they can focus on solving more complex issues, including improving customer experiences based on that feedback. So instead of having to answer all of them, they can work on identifying what are the biggest questions, what are the most important questions, how do they address these questions or concerns. By automating repetitive tasks, AI can also help businesses reduce operational costs and errors, leading to significant improvements in the bottom line. Again, going back to my math problem, I guarantee you, if I had to do that by hand, I probably would not have gotten that correct. So it can actually reduce our neglect of errors. These factors may also have positive effects on our workplace culture, which is why we're here today. So in a study commissioned by Amazon, research found that automation and artificial intelligence could save Australian workers 245 hours annually. That equated to more than 6 weeks of work. This increase in efficiency is expected to enhance job satisfaction and work-life satisfaction. Whether we're ready or not, AI's influence in the workplace has been steadily increasing over the past few years, and its impact is only set to grow. I heard a colleague say, yeah, we met about this last week. Well, it's already changed. It's evolving fast. In industries such as finance, AI-powered algorithms are used for everything from fraud detection to investment decisions. In healthcare, AI is revolutionizing diagnostics and treatment recommendations, improving patient outcomes. In retail, it's personalizing customer experiences from product recommendations to inventory management. For example, AI can analyze medical images like X-rays and MRIs to detect diseases like cancer. That doesn't alleviate the need for our doctors. In retail and marketing, AI analyzes customer data, such as browsing history, previous purchases, and user preferences to suggest products that they are likely to be interested in for each individual customers. Platforms like Amazon, Netflix, and Spotify use AI algorithms to recommend products, shows, and music based on past behaviors. For instance, when a customer browses a certain category of products, AI systems can suggest complementary items like frequently bought together, or customers who bought this also bought this. I know for me, I love it. We're suggesting this to you because you watched this. And it sometimes gets me some really great shows to watch. And in manufacturing, robots are enhancing efficiency on the production floor, reducing errors and increasing safety. AI doesn't just change how things are done, it enables new ways of working. Whether it's automating mundane tasks or providing data-driven insights for complex decision, AI is transforming this landscape. So as we can see, AI should be viewed as a powerful tool for enhancing human capabilities, rather than just as a replacement for us. The future of work will be built on human AI collaboration. AI systems can perform tasks faster and with greater precision, but humans bring creativity, judgment, and emotional intelligence to the table. By combining the strengths of both, we can achieve outcomes that were previously unimaginable. For example, in healthcare, while AI medical data and suggest diagnoses, doctors and the nurses still make the final decisions using their expertise and understanding of the patient care, their culture, to provide that personalized treatment plan for them. In customer service, AI can answer routine inquiries, but human agents handle more complex issues. They provide the empathy and the personal touch needed. This partnership between human workers and AI systems will be critical in driving innovation and achieving business goals in the future. In fact, I used Gemini, the generative AI bot, to help create original images that could support this presentation, what you're seeing right now. It created them for me in a matter of minutes. I had to make sure that they were not originals. You had to talk, you had to teach, but it made it a whole lot faster to find my images. This would have taken me tedious amounts of hours. In the references, I've cited the use of this, but I had to know what I wanted to share with all of you to actually get what I wanted. I had to know the tone that I wanted it to do and the message I wanted it to evoke with you. Using AI helped to reduce the number of hours it took me to produce this presentation, but I had to teach the software what I wanted. So now let's lastly talk about preparing our teams. First of all, our teams. They need to know that AI is in its very early stages. As noted on the slide, it's been reported that only 1% of people across the globe surveyed AI is at its maturity state, and that's good because there's absolutely no way, as we see changes every day. 99% do not, and I would agree with that personally, that I sit in the 99% group. This report also suggests that our employees currently seek to learn and be prepared. But interestingly enough, it's our leaders who are often the greatest barrier in moving forward with our employees' AI readiness, our students' readiness. Bain & Company also provides research that suggests that AI adoption is moving very fast across the world. And hence, this hesitation that we're having about getting on board and understanding, it's really going to displace our employees. that would have to be replaced rather than supporting our organizations and our employees in a framework of care. So why are we not preparing our employees and our students in this case so that our organizations are prepared and are ready? It stands to reason that we want to be ready, but the question is, do you want to hire more people to manage it? Or do you want to prepare your own employees to be ready to integrate effectiveness? In the 2024 Work Trend Index annual report from Microsoft and LinkedIn, 71% of leaders say they would rather hire a less experienced candidate with AI skills than a more experienced candidate. Listen to what that's saying. That's pretty big and really tells all of us we should be getting that AI development for ourselves. So the majority of companies that are using it are still not taking the needed steps to prepare their employees. When supporting organizational culture, it is important to consider the stress that employees may feel when they are trying to learn anything without the right support. Employees need their leaders. Employees need their teams. Employees' development can improve your organization's culture. In addition, the report by Bain and Company in March 2025 suggests that 44% of executives cite a lack of in-house AI expertise as a key barrier to them implementing it. If you're interested in taking next steps forward in your training and teams, it's going to be important to start thinking about how to develop your teams. So next steps, the development of AI is not just an option for businesses. It's a necessity, and it is daring us to transform. It will shape the way we work, the way we interact, and the way we achieve success. By embracing AI and preparing for its integration into the workplace, we can unlock new opportunities, drive innovation, and create a better, more efficient work environment, which improves care in our workplace. And even a more caring and positive work culture, it doesn't just happen by itself. We have to look at all these different variables to help support that. Care in the workplace takes many forms and can be driven by the current culture and by the needs of our workers. So how could developing your team actually help you support their success and company success? And in turn, provide care to your teams and to your customers, or your why. Why do we want to do this? Why should we strive to be the best we can be? Because that's who we all are. That's what we want to do in our businesses. So here are some key strategies for assessing the right AI development for your organization that align with what would be UAGC's pillars of communicate, advocate, respect, and empower. Identify that target audience, that specific role in your organization that need to be receiving this type of training, and why. At UAGC, perhaps the faculty, so they can better support an ethical use by students. The learning objectives that are incorporated in your courses, or the learning objectives you have in your training companies in different places, how can you align this to care and to your why? The delivery method, choose the delivery method that aligns with your organization's needs. Whether it's online courses, in-person workshops, or even a blended approach, what provides the most care and learning to your organization? And of course, budget. Consider the cost of training programs and choose options that fit within your organization's budget. In what ways can you provide care but not overspend? Industry relevance, select training programs that are relevant to the organization's industry and specific applications of AI. Advocate for those that support your organization the most. Advocate for your employees. Ask your employees, how and what do they want to learn to support your organization going forward? Communicate and respect your employees' experiences and needs and requests. It's essential. So I'm going to share a PDF document in the chat that you can download that includes several options for transforming your own organization with AI development. I hope you find that this presentation was helpful to you and it helps you transform your organization as we discover how AI can benefit your organizational culture. And so to wrap it up, the development of AI is crucial for the workplace of tomorrow. I hope that that's been heard. Organizations that embrace AI, no matter the organization, will have a competitive advantage as they will be more efficient, data-driven, and able to adapt to changing demands. And I would also say for those out there that are seeking employment, wanting to develop yourself, it gives you the competitive advantage if we look back at those hiring rates. Employees who stay informed and upskill themselves will thrive in the AI-powered workplace. Continuous learning and adaptability will be essential skills for the workforce of our future. As AI continues to evolve, we must ensure that implementation is done responsibly and inclusively. Ask questions. By fostering collaboration between humans and machines, we can create a workplace that is more efficient, innovative, and fulfilling for everyone involved. My reference in and any questions from anyone, I would love to take that. I hope this has been helpful.
I don't see any questions from the audience, but I have like 78 questions for you. We have to extend this to get it. But so the first question I have is, I think you mentioned the calculator comparison. I think it's interesting because that tool is different in that there is no question as to whether the calculator, its answer is actually correct or not, right? It's a yes or no kind of thing. And I think one of the challenges and distinctions with AI is that the complexity and nuance of the information we're asking for, it leaves a lot of room for interpretation. And often we're actually asking AI to interpret for us. So instead of asking a calculator for precise answer, we're looking for nuance and interpretation. It almost implies to me that our skill set would need to shift almost towards supervisory skills, in that we're evaluating and editing the product of someone else as opposed to being the one who wrote the thing. And so can you think of any ways that in higher education, we should be adjusting our approach with students to emphasize those different skills as opposed to whatever we have now?
Absolutely. That's a great question. First, I want to address the calculator, though, and remind us all that we have to know which buttons to push to get the right answer. And that can be very challenging on these very crazy looking calculators these days. So we may think we got the right answer, but if we didn't push the right buttons, we didn't know how to think through what we were doing, we wouldn't get the right answer. Yes, it's smaller and less, but not back then. It wasn't. It was a big deal back then. So let's look at AI. I'm going to bring up a title word that I learned at a conference, an AI conference over the last year. And it was about educators becoming, we're not just teachers anymore. We're not just instructors anymore. We need to become cognitive coaches. And I love that. We need to learn how to teach our students to think. And that's going to be an important part of this AI use, is how to think through what it can help us with, but what it can't. And again, I go back to, I have another session later today, and I'd written up everything that I wanted to talk about, and I thought it was a little long. And so I put it into a chat GP to see what it would tell me. And it said, well, try this. It makes it a little shorter. The words were so flamboyant, it was obnoxious. And I was like, okay, I do this myself, because it couldn't do what I wanted to do. And I could have spent some time teaching it perhaps, but it wasn't worth that for me in that particular one. So for our students, as if we all could become teachers of thinking, teachers of problem solving, teachers of how does this tool make you more efficient, more accurate, but not neglecting us as being human learners and human people that strive to help others gain knowledge and support others in what they do. Leaders even have to be good leaders to help provide this type of development for their employees. And sometimes that's hard to break out of that mode of wanting to transform. But that's a human thing. So I see it as both ways, but I truly think it gives us the opportunity to ask harder questions to our students, just like the calculator. We had to quit asking what 2 + 2 is. We had to start asking hard questions. And I think AI has the potential for allowing our students to really dive into hard questions and find differing perspectives in a much more efficient, fast way, which allows them to really over-evaluate the information using the time they might have taken to find it all. I hope that answers your question.
That's fantastic. I'd like to jump in with a question too, if you don't mind. Where would you like to see future research focus in exploring the use of AI in the workplace?
Wow, I think that it's endless, quite frankly. Personally, I would really like to see the results that we're seeing in both areas, whether it's in education. I specifically work in online, so I'd like to see how that's changing the climate, changing how we prompt students, changing how we train students to be ready for the workforce. So I'd love to see research in that area. Are we offering the people that come to us to develop the right tools to get that job? And when we look at that 71% hiring less qualified folks that have AI, that should be a big trigger for educators that we need to figure this out. For organizations, I'd like to see the same thing. Did they become more efficient? What challenges too are they seeing? I think if we do a better job at sharing our challenges, then we can all grow and do better at that. So I think those are the two areas for me, but oh my goodness, I could see so many areas of research in this area.
Fantastic.
We are
There's a
we are
lot of
at time.
opportunity.
I'm so sorry, Dana. We're at time, but we did have one other question from an audience member. I didn't want to neglect to see if you can fire it out real quick. Students
Okay.
are increasingly using AI in their discussions and written assignments. AI detectors can confirm this, but because they're not 100% reliable, we're discouraged from using these to provide evidence of AI use by students. Do you have any strategies you think can be put in place to address this academic integrity issue?
I do. One caution. A lot of people don't know the use of Grammarly is the use of an AI tool. So the results you get from Turnitin that says it's AI, okay, but it may be Grammarly use AI. That's something we encourage our students to do. Even if you use Turnitin to review your paper, that's an AI tool that could be looked at later as an AI. There are many ways to detect if AI is writing something for students. And I really encourage you to look, ask AI how it could detect that. And then ask it for the places you can go to research it or look at it. I think the important thing we're all going to have to start moving forward to is like the calculator, asking better prompt questions, asking our students to use AI in a way that would develop, let's say, two sides of an issue, and then ask them to use those two arguments to produce their own opinion about those two things. I think we can do a better job, and I do. I think it's going to really be challenging, but I think educators have to start really relooking at how we ask these questions. But then I think on the other side, I think students need to understand to not neglect your own knowledge development. AI can really help you do things faster, find information faster, but be cautious. AI will lie to you. AI will make up things for you because it wants to make the user happy. And so until you've trained yourself enough to know that, be cautious. Ask it if this question is clear. Ask if I know in one of the last courses I was working on, I asked the students to upload a zip file. I was supposed to do this fast. I'm sorry, Dan. And instead of letting all of them flood to me and say, I don't know how to do a zip file, I wrote on there, if you don't know how to do a zip file, ask AI. I did not, for the first time ever, have one student reach out to me and ask me how to do a zip file. So those are the things that we can help them learn the ethical ways of understanding. But I also caution too, things are moving fast and we're all going to have to stay up on it. And so I encourage all educators, all leaders of any organization. There are courses, my PDF, I hope helps, but I've been doing some self-development with LinkedIn that does AI. There are AI development things out there everywhere globally because of how fast this is coming. Create a sack lunch thing for your own institution to get together and start talking about these things because it's coming fast. And so my advice today may be old news tomorrow. So just take our own initiatives to be ready. Thanks.
And we are at time. I would like to give a big thank you to Dr. Rosser Majors for her time and insights as we conclude Daring to Transform the Importance of AI to Workplace Skill Development. Big thank you to all of our viewers for joining us. We hope you found the conversation inspiring. Please check the chat for the link to the Clifford Blizzard Award if you would like to nominate this presentation. We also invite you to check out the Summit website provided in the chat to select your next session. Once again, on behalf of the Department of Behavioral Sciences and the University of Arizona Global Campus, thank you, and please have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.